Greetings shippers, welcome back, and we're still having a good time with the Ineffable Husbands, and you were all super excited when I mentioned the potential of a shippable moments vid, so here we are. Now, as many of you joked, no, we can't just re-upload the whole show, but we can talk about it and sift through some of these glorious moments. Now, this series is chock full to the brim with moments, so we're going to take a look at some of the fandom's favorites, and of course, no matter what, we all know that the end goal of every relationship needs to be to find someone who looks at you the way Aziraphale looks at Crowley. Cherished. That is just the personification of cherished. If you have way more than one favorite shippable moment from this series, hit that like button. Before we get started, if you haven't already, follow on social media to stay up to date, know when we're streaming, and just come on over and chit chat about fandom. It's a good time, I swear. Also, quick mention, we've launched our sister channel, Casually Comics, so if you love comics and keeping up with that kind of fandom, head on over. Now, on to the moments. Number 10, Secret Body Swap. One of the fun surprises of the series was how much more was added on to these two in terms of on-screen moments, and the new end sequences were particularly well received, giving us a canonical body swap plot. Always fun. During the body swap, aside from the amusement of seeing them mimic each other, there were a couple of things that struck fans. Well, many, but we're going to focus on a couple. One heartwarming moment was seeing Crowley's face brighten upon spotting the Bentley in one piece, as he knows just how much the car means to Crowley. Another, the scrunched up face he makes at the demons in hell. As the two are attempting to mimic each other's faces and mannerisms, many fans were amused to find that Aziraphale's interpretation of Crowley's facial expression is, well, adorable, meaning that that's most likely how he feels about Crowley's eccentricities. Scrinch. Number 9. The Wall Slam. Now this comes with a side helping of yet another character assuming they're a couple. Upon accidentally insulting Crowley, Aziraphale finds himself pinned against the wall by an irate demon. However, fans were quick to notice not only how much the moment lingered, but also how much Aziraphale is gazing longingly at him in the scene. You can feel the pining. Some have taken this to mean the two are mutually pining soft boys in love, while others have taken it to mean Aziraphale has a secret rough Crowley kink, while others have also incorporated the fact that showcases how comfortable Aziraphale is with Crowley, and the trust he has in him, especially when contrasted to how he reacts to being thrust up against the wall by his angel compatriots, night and day. And they also assume him and Crowley are a couple. It's going around. Number 8. The coat. Just a little earlier in the same episode, the two are shot at with paintballs, and Aziraphale whines and pouts about his coat getting a stain on it. And while Crowley gently mocks him, he also ultimately miracles it away for him. This sequence was just so profoundly coupley, and for many it spoke to the fact that Aziraphale has potentially pulled similar stunts to get his way with Crowley in the past. It's also an addition, as in the book, while Aziraphale complains about his coat, there is no mention of Crowley cleaning it. It's just yet another example of the small acts of kindness Crowley will perform for his angel, because he's absolutely besotted. Number 7. The Wing. One of the fun things about this fandom, aside from all the great nicknames for the not-pocalypse, is just how ingrained the 6,000-year slow burn concept is. The belief is that at the very least, Crowley has been completely head over heels since the Garden of Eden. While book fans initially inferred this from their banter, the series again upped the ante by having Aziraphale shield Crowley from the coming storm with his wing, an instinctive act of protectiveness and kindness, already treating Crowley better than any angel or demon would. In short, it was a visualization of their instant connection. Side note, just the glorious wing fix in this fandom. Glorious, and sometimes deliciously angsty. Number 6. You go too fast / run away with me. There's a lot of bits of dialogue in this series that are rather loaded with layered meaning, in the sense that one could manage to twist it to be completely literal, or it could also have much greater implications for these two's relationship. There are a couple of bits of dialogue that are almost impossible to read as anything but couch discussions about these two's relationship. The "you go too fast for me" is particularly pointed, as Crowley offers to take Aziraphale anywhere he likes, to do whatever he wants. Aziraphale puts him off with the now much used fandom line, "You go too fast for me, Crowley." Most read this as him talking about their relationship, and the open secret about how they both feel about each other. This line is also utilized beautifully in Angst Fix as something that has cut at Crowley for years, even as he's respected Aziraphale enough to heed it. Also, in some extra angsty ones, he'll throw it back at Aziraphale. Along the same vein is Crowley pleading with Aziraphale to run away with him to the stars, receiving a rejection which clearly wounds him. Fans have fun with these moments, most often in their post-no-pocalypse getting together fix. Number 5. Stopping time. The climactic end scene of the series is definitely ramped up, more so than the book, where a lot of it happens conceptually. Here, however, as impending doom is upon them and the group panics, Aziraphale demands that Crowley do something, threatening that if he doesn't, he'll never speak to him again. A threat that propels Crowley to actually stop time. So in short, the fear of losing Aziraphale was enough for Crowley to stretch his creativity to the limits and tap into a vast reserve of demonic power to stop time and pull them into another space of existence to plan. But there's more to it than that. On the flip flip side is the knowledge Aziraphale has that is what is needed to inspire Crowley, because again, open secret, the world knew before they did. Also, another glorious wing scene. It's time to plug the wing fic vid again. Card, link. Number 4, Cold Open. Another of the much beloved additions made in the Amazon Prime series was episode 3's extremely long Cold Open, which charts these two's relationship and the evolution of their arrangement throughout history. And what that history showed us was that Crowley will go out of his way to make sure Aziraphale doesn't get discorporated, and that maybe, just maybe, Aziraphale expects it. Of particular note is the joy and the suggestive once-over he gives Crowley when he saves him from being beheaded during the French Revolution. One fun fandom headcanon that has emerged is that Aziraphale gets himself into these situations on purpose, so that he can see Crowley, particularly earlier on in their arrangement when they saw each other less frequently. He also saves him again during the Blitz, which leads us to our next moment. Number 3, the books/church. Now, not only does Crowley burn his feet walking on sacred ground to make sure his angel isn't bombed out of existence, but he also saves Aziraphale's precious books as well, knowing how much they mean to his angel. This is the moment that is thought by fans to be where Aziraphale fully realizes the extent of his feelings for Crowley. You can see it dawning on him, crossing over his face. And this was deliberate. The scene was indeed played that way. Michael Sheen, and to a lesser extent but only because of how enthusiastic Sheen is about it, David Tennant, have been open about playing the characters as beings who love one another very deeply. Number 2, To the World. The post-almost-apocalypse lunch date. What this is for most shippers, aside from the gazing, the copious amounts of gazing, is that it feels like the two have finally accepted what their relationship is, and are starting a new chapter. Many of the getting together fics start post this point, oftentimes the evening of, with the idea that these two could now firmly embrace being on their own side, and that this could be their life now, hanging out openly whenever they want, just enjoying each other's company, and moving at their own pace. It's also just a nice intimate sequence of how much affection there can be in just spending time with someone you care about, doing something you both enjoy. You're just happy to see these two happy. Finally, after 6,000 years, the slowest burn. So slow. Of course, here are some honorable mentions. Shout out to Crowley's dramatic, totally not breakup speech in the middle of the street. He's going off to the stars, and he won't even think of him. Another for the will-be godfather scene, which has led to some fun co-parenting fics. And a special shout out to the world's most suggestive statue in Crowley's apartment that has gotten several fics, and even attention from Neil Gaiman, who teased production staff about it being suggestive. And number 1, You Can Stay With Me If You Like. Now, it could be argued that this is a much smaller moment than some of the others on this list. Crowley offering Aziraphale a place to stay, as his bookshop is presumed by both of them at the time to still be burned down right after the climax of the, well, not apocalypse. What makes this number 1 is that this was the trend in fics when the fandom first began experiencing its renaissance after the episodes were released on Amazon. This was the missing scene fic that everyone was writing, the two spending the night together and getting together. Many just needed this gap filled and felt it was the logical conclusion to make. It became a loved cliche within days, and people are still trying their hand at it. Also, this has morphed now into the two of them moving in together fics, which are soft as all get up. What is your favorite ineffable moment? And also, what's your favorite trope going on in the fandom currently? I'm a big fan of Bamf Aziraphale right now, having to save Crowley for once. This video was shorter than anticipated, but mostly because the scenes are just so concise, and well, dare I say it, ineffable. Also, side note, completely unrelated, I found this pic and it's just adorable and instantly summed up a dynamic for an OT3 that I didn't know I needed until I saw this picture. And now I'm in multi-shipper rare pair hell. Thanks so much for taking some time every day to spend it discussing fandom and shipping with me. I always appreciate it. It's been so fun to take a look at the Ineffable Husbands. There are, as always, more videos coming soon, so if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you never miss a vid. Special thanks to all of my patrons, names on the side, for helping to make all of these videos possible. I will see you all again when I can, so please stay tuned, for there are as many ships out there as there are stars in the sky. Bye bye.